Just dropped O3 Pro. This is a brand new update that's just been announced literally a few hours ago. So basically, the new version of OpenAI O3 Pro is now available inside ChatGPT and also on the API. So if you want to get access to this, you can go to chatgpt.com, then go to O3-Pro, and then you can start using it like you can see right here. I'll show you how to get access today, plus what it means for you and some of the benchmarks, so you can see comparative evaluations with human testers and how it performs. And we can also compare this in terms of benchmarks for evaluation. So for example, competition maths, you can see how it performs. So O3 Pro is performing a lot higher than O1 Pro and O3 Medium in terms of competition maths, science questions, competition code, and we'll be testing out side by side today and just seeing how it performs. Now, if you want to get access to this, it's available on the Pro plan inside ChatGPT, which is a giant $200 per month. So is it worth? Is the juice worth the squeeze? That's probably what you're asking, right? Is it insane or is it not insane? And I'll show you some examples of how it performed for me personally in a minute. It does take a long time to generate, right? So for example, if you wanted to use it for something simple, it wouldn't make sense at all, simply because it takes so long to respond. Right? So as an example of this, if we go on to ChatGPT O3 Pro and we say, okay, just create the most beautiful SEO calculator landing page you can, just as a coding example, right? Something simple like that. If we actually hit enter like so, what you're going to see here is that we request it, and it takes a long time to reason. So typically the responses that I've seen have taken anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes when I've tested it out, and it does take quite a long time to generate responses. I'll show you what the responses were in a second as well. But yeah, you can see this. Now, the limitations here is that at the moment, temporary chats are disabled for O3 Pro as a result of a technical issue. Image generation is not supported inside O3 Pro, and Canvas is not supported inside O3 Pro. So, for example, if we go inside O3 Pro here and we run a response, you can see this model here, it actually reasoned for 13 minutons, 13 long minutons. We spent waiting for the Space Invaders game to load. And then we got the file. Obviously, it's not available on Canvas, so we can download the file, which is actually pretty useful. And if we download it, it didn't work that time, actually, which is quite interesting. But if we want to test it out, let me show you an example. So I can just get my recent downloads, grab this inside the browser, and here we have an example of the Space Invaders game. Now, I'll show you how this compares in a second, but obviously, from what you can see here, it doesn't actually work. Right, so I waited 13 minutes for chat. I paid $200 and I waited 13 minutes for ChatGPT O3 to generate this bad boy that doesn't actually work. So you tell me if you think AGI is here or not. But if we actually compare the outputs versus something like Gemini, so if we go into Gemini, we've got the exact same prompt here. We say create a visually stimulating Space Invaders game with the aesthetics, trigger loads of dopamine, blah blah blah. We click start game, and we're living the dream, right? That's so much. I mean, despite the noise, like the noise is horrible. Don't get me wrong, but the actual performance and the actual quality of the game is so much better, right, compared to O3 Pro, and so that's really what we're dealing with here, right? That's where we're at. So. I'm not going to say insane in the title for sure. So you get an example of how it performs, what we did, etc., how long it took. So it took 13 minutes. You can actually see the reasoning here. So it says crafting the game and then initializing the file. When we actually go back to download the game, and now it works again, but it wasn't working on the other tab, which is strange. And then you can see that actually Gemini 2.5 Pro can generate a better response for free for the same prompt, right? Pretty crazy. If we go back to ChatGPT and the request we just sent, which is create the most beautiful SEO calculator you can see inside here that it's still loading, right? So it's still generating. It will take quite a few minutes, I think, to get that back. And you can see Sam Waltman's post here. So he said, O3 Pro is rolling now for ChatGPT Pro users and in the API. It is really smart. I didn't believe the win rates relative to O3 the first time I saw them. From my own tests, I've not seen the same sort of, outputs. It's not impressed me in the same way, but each to their own. each to their own. And we can see what people are saying about it right now. So let's see if anyone's created anything interesting here. It might be really good for is like scientific or mathematics and stuff like that, but just for coding so far, from what I've seen, it's less than impressive. So the other big piece of news here is the O3 OpenAI for developers have actually cut the price of O3, which is different to O3 Pro, and that's been cut by 80%. So it's 80% cheaper now. And they're introducing O3 Pro in the API, which uses even more compute, right? So if you want to see the prices for O3, the new prices are input $2 per million tokens and output $8 per million tokens. That's now in effect. And you can see some examples of how much it costs, right? So if we have a look at the prices here, like O1 is a lot more expensive than O3 in April, and now O3 in June is a lot cheaper than O3 in April. This is the announcement, so I actually got an email from them explaining the differences. So they said, we know the O1 Pro was often too expensive to use in production, so we're excited to be able to lower the price by 87% with O3 Pro, right? Which is pretty good, to be fair, like it's a lot cheaper than O1 Pro. And O3 Pro is designed to tackle tough problems. Some requests may take several minutes to finish, right? So just bear in that in mind. If you're coding with the API, you don't want to send too many requests. It can get too expensive. And then if you want to compare this in the playground, you can see O3 is here, and this is quite different to O3 Pro, right? So if we look at the price here, $20 input, $80 output for O3 Pro, whereas it's $2 input for O3 and $8 output for O3, right? Huge difference in pricing right there. And again, this is not supported with image generation. But yeah, you can get access inside ChatGPT, and if you can't get access there, then just use the API directly inside the playground. So for example here, if we wanted to get started with using this, we can just go to playground, then we can go to prompts, select the model, and then if we type in O3, you can see O3 Pro is available there. I don't imagine that a lot of people are going to be coding with that, to be honest with you. And I don't think it's available on... Oh, O3 Pro has just come out on OpenRouter. That came out before I even started this video, which is interesting. Literally just before. So yeah, you can use it on OpenRouter as well if you want to. Let's see which apps. Yeah, there's no apps using this. It literally just came out. But interesting to see for sure. Now, if you want to see another example, we've got loads of notes inside the AI Success Lab if you want to see how this performs, etc. But if you want to see, for example, the video notes here, and we'll compare another test of O3 Pro versus Gemini, right? Or we can take the same prompt and we'll put it inside. Yeah, we'll test that prompt in a second. So, for example, here I've said build in single HTML the best SEO 3JS runner game you can, right? And we plugged that into O3 Pro. It took us 6 minutes to generate. You can see the reasoning on the right hand side. So this was another test. And then we have the HTML here, and it says below is a complete single page file. Open it in a modern browser, blah, blah, blah. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take that, copy that HTML, and just see how does it perform, right? Was it worth the $200? That is the question. So if we plug this HTML in here and we test it out as a live preview, you can see that it doesn't do anything, right? And we waited 6 minutes for that, which is not ideal. It's not ideal, to be honest with you. Like, for me, I would say it's probably not worth it right now. You have to wait a long time for the responses. The outputs don't seem to be particularly good. It doesn't seem to be as powerful as I imagined. And also, if you took this prompt and then you went into something like Gemini for free, you can use it, and you typically get better outputs, right? So, for example, if we go to this example, this is a game that we created. It's not amazing, don't get me wrong. Like, you'd have to go back and forth a little bit with the AI to get something better. But you can see some examples of like just how much this this works, right? It actually works versus ChatGPT o3's response. So big difference really in terms of responses, in terms of the outputs. For me, in terms of the prices as well, I mean, if you compare as well, you know, let's compare these models. So if we go to models here and we'll compare OpenAI o3 Pro, and we'll compare that versus Gemini 2.5 Pro. Obviously, Gemini 2.5 Pro has won both tests where we compared side by side the same prompt. And you can see here, like the context window, number one is much higher with Gemini 2.5 Pro versus OpenAI o3 Pro. And then also the costs here, right? $20 input versus $1.25 for Gemini. $80 output from OpenAI o3 versus $10 output from Gemini 2.5 Pro. So there's a big difference in terms of costs, in terms of outputs, and in terms of quality as well, right? And so if I was to pick one, of course, it's going to be Gemini, right, from what I've seen so far. So if you want all the video notes from today along with daily free trainings, feel free to get that inside the AI Success Lab. We give away free new trainings, as you can see right here, every single day, and you can join directly here if you want to get access. All right, link in the comments description to the AI Success Lab. Also has a community of 10,300 people and also tons of trainings, as you can see inside the classroom. So if you want to get tons of trainings and updates on the latest AI, you can. If you want to connect with me personally, if you want to get 3 live coaching calls per week, if you want to be able to request automations we actually build for you, then feel free to get the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. Inside here, we have a community where you can connect with me personally. You can also post inside the community. You can ask any questions that you have. You can also get access to all our best AI agents, templates, workflows, etc. And all of this stuff is inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Finally, if you want us to automate and implement AI automations for you, feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Inside this link right here, and you can book in a free SEO strategy session and then just ask any questions on the call, and also book in a call and we'll look at what you want to automate and how we can do it, right? If you want to hire us and become a client of ours for AI automation. So feel free to get that link in the comments description. I appreciate you watching. ChatGPT o3 versus Claude 4 Opus versus Gemini 2.5 Pro. Who wins? Today we're going to be testing them side by side and seeing which one performs the best in a coding gauntlet. Now, ChatGPT have actually just released a new update where the price of coding with o3 is 80% cheaper. So we'll be testing out and seeing which one gives the best outputs and which one performs the best side by side. So we have Opus in the middle, we have Gemini 2.5 Pro on the right hand side, and we have ChatGPT o3 on the left hand side. So we're going to get straight into this and just run it through some examples. First thing that we're going to try here is we're going to say build a bouncing ball physics game. You can get all the prompts inside the AI Success Lab, completely free, link in the comments description. We'll test this out. So we're going to say build a bouncing ball physics game where each bounce produces a musical note and splash of light. Add bonuses for combo bounces, unlock new sound sets, blah, 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 right? Single HTML. So we'll code each of these inside Claude, Gemini, and ChatGPT. What we're looking for here essentially is not just speed, but also which one performs the best in terms of outputs, and which one gives us the best UI as well, the best experience, all right? So they're all coding out directly here. It looks like Claude is leading the way with ChatGPT o3 coming in second, and then Gemini on the right-hand side performing. By the way, if you're wondering, okay, how much it costs to code with each of these, if you want to use the API whilst we're waiting for these to load. So Gemini is the cheapest to code with. You can actually get a free API. Claude, Sonnet, let's compare these two. So we can actually do a comparison on OpenRouter in terms of which one performs the best. We open up the models here. We're not using OpenAI O3 Pro because that's not particularly good as an API. Like it's just going to take, 5, 10, 15 minutes to generate each output. We're just using the normal O3 model. So let's find that. And then if we compare these versus Claude, and you can see a comparison of the prices right here, right? So for example, OpenAI O3 versus Claude Opus, the costs for Opus are a lot more expensive than the costs for O3, but let's see which one performs the best. So if we go back to Claude now, we have the example. Let's pull this open, see what we got here. And that seems to have come up with an error, so that's not actually working. It seemed to work like first time around, but then it totally failed. Let's have a look at Gemini 2.5 Pro. That has also come up with an error. And let's have a look at OpenAI O3. We'll preview this. Oh, that's working perfectly first time round. Alright, we'll X off that before it makes any crazy noises. But you get the point. So, essentially, O3 is actually beating Claude Opus 4 and Gemini 2.5 Pro using exactly the same prompts, right? And you can see we tried to fix the error before on Opus, didn't work. Tried to fix the error on Gemini, it doesn't work. But O3 actually performs better and it's cheaper on the API versus O3, versus Claude Opus, right? So big difference there. And you can see actually O3 is not a bad model to code with at all. So let's try something else now. What we're going to do is we're going to take the next prompt. We're going to take this, we'll start a new chat in each so it's got a different context. We'll say build a research racing game where you fly a rocket-powered blog post past AI spam sites. And we'll say make it feel like a Flappy Bird style game. Add crazy colors too. All right, and then we're gonna plug that into O3. We'll do the same inside Claude. And then we'll do the same inside Gemini as well. And see what we get back, all right? Just bear in mind that O3 was the only one that managed to do the task first time round. The other two didn't manage that at all. And also when we tried to correct the errors, both of them didn't work. So let's wait for them to load. I've not actually coded that much with O3, but I did want to check this out since the new update came out today with the 80% cheaper costs. So you can see the announcement of the 80% price cut right here from OpenAI developers, and the costs have gone down way cheaper than before, right? Look at OpenAI O3 this month versus last month, right? The prices are just so much cheaper. So let's see what we get back here. We've already got the output from O3, which is pretty wild as well. So let's preview this bad boy. Hopefully it continues up the momentum, but it's not looking good. Let's see what we got. Oh, there we go. It's not bad. I like the colors, the UI. I mean, the design is super basic, but honestly, AI is not great at coming up with UI. But that's worked first time round, and it was the first to create it. Let's have a look at Gemini now. To be fair, this is looking nicer. I like the emoji style rocket that we've got. No sound effects. Let's see what we got here. Alright, and then let's test out on Claude. I would say Claude's output is the best, to be fair. Like, that's way crazier. And super addictive for a weird reason. So, if I'm going to have to call a winner here, I'm going to say that Opus won, followed by Gemini, and then OpenAI 03 didn't do a bad job, to be fair. Like, it did something decent. Brandon asks, which Gemini version is this? So this is 2.5 Pro Preview, the one inside Gemini.com. And Brandon says, please tell me the code is better with ChatGPT. It takes a while to get it to do what I need to do. Claude definitely does it better from what I've been experiencing, but I use both together. Yeah, so, I mean, it's kind of mixed so far. As you can see today, like, round 1, ChatGPT 03 won. Round 2, Opus 1. So it's kind of mixed so far, but we'll see what we get back so far. This is definitely looking a lot nicer so far. So let's see what we get on the next test here. We're going to take all of these and create a new example. And I'm going to go into ChatGPT just to get a little prompt idea for this. So I'm going to say, okay, create a prompt for a dopamine-inducing AI growth calculator, single HTML, crazy colors, visuals, confetti, links to my funnels. We'll see if ChatGPT 4.0 can just give us a good prompt for the next test. Here we go. Now what we'll do is we'll go back to each of these and get the party started. For some reason Claude doesn't want to start a new chat, so we'll just type it in manually. And in the meantime we'll go to Gemini as well. Claude seems broken. Is Claude down? Alright, we'll have to use the open router. You can see here Claude is not loading on the new chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to chat inside here, open router, then we're going to add a model, and we'll type in Claude Opus, and we'll just try that instead. So O3 has come back to us now. Hey, this is looking pretty good, to be fair. Let's just check it works. Yeah, that's looking incredible, isn't it? It's never been so fun to calculate. Let's click. These go to my funnels as well, as you can see. Pretty nice. Yeah, not bad at all. O3 is doing well there. Let's have a look at Gemini 2.5 Pro. It's not bad. It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's as fun to use as the previous one, and also like the charts don't really show up here. Additionally, if we have a look here, you can see that you can't get back to the previous screen, which is not ideal. So, you know, you can't calculate the time, and also it feels a little bit laggy when I'm scrolling up and down here. You can see the lag a little bit. So it's not as good as O3's. Let's have a look. We've got Opus here doing its magic. Claude.ai is not opened at all, which is kind of annoying. I'm just going to close that for now. It's broken. And then we can test this out on LiveWeave. And let's see what we got here. So this is the output from Opus. Let's test this out. It's a little bit laggy. Like, you see how it's lagging here? And it's like struggling to scroll down and stuff like that. Like, it feels really, really laggy. It looks nice, but it's just not quite nice to use when you actually scroll through the website. Like, people are not going to enjoy that. So if I had to declare a winner here, I'm going to say O3. So O3 won the first round, and it also won the third round. But the second round, Claude Opus won. However, you know, the main website of Claude is not even opening up, right? Like, if we go to Claude now. It's working again now, but it wasn't working before. So overall, I mean, I'm saying ChatGPT O3 has won that. You know, we did 3 tests. You can see the outputs here. The website didn't fail, unlike Claude. It won 2 rounds out of 3. It created really nice outputs. You can preview it in the canvas as well. And everything's looking really good there. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all the prompts from today, feel free to get that inside the AI Success Lab in the comments and description. If you want to get access to daily new free trainings as well, you can get that inside the AI Success Lab, along with a community of 10,300 people, and also all of these different courses on the left hand side, like you can see, right? And all the video notes from today are inside here, along with the details on the new O3 Model Pro that just came out. And you can get that link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. If you want to get an AI automation session that basically looks at your business, helps you figure out, okay, what's the best way to automate your business to save you a lot of time, then feel free to get that link in the comments description. You can book in a free AI automation session. We can jump on that call together, help you out, give you some tips, and that's essentially it. Thanks for watching. Alright, so next up, Lucky Leo says Claude is $200 a month. Actually, you can use it for free if you want. Like, you don't have to pay for Claude. You can use it for free. So next up, we're going to talk about how to automate your browser with Gemini 2.5 Pro. So if you want to automate your browser with Gemini 2.5 Pro, you can use this free Chrome extension called Nano Browser, and then you can install this to Google Chrome. You can see some examples of how it works right here, and essentially you can use your existing instance of Google Chrome and then start navigating across your browser. Now this is 100% free. It can also run locally, so it's more privacy focused. Additionally, you can use the flexible LLM option, so you can switch between different LLMs essentially, and also it's fully open source. So you can see here it's available on GitHub, as you can see, so it's open source. But if you want to use it directly, you can just go to your Chrome extensions, and then from here, you're going to select Nano Browser, make sure you've already installed it from the Chrome extension, and then you can start using it. If you want to get all the links from today, feel free to get that inside the AI Success Lab, and we'll get straight into this. So I've got a bunch of tests that I want to try out here, and to set this up, essentially what you're going to do is you're going to go to your settings inside Nano Browser, and this is how you can get your browser agent to start using it for you. So for example here, you can see I've typed in my API key. If you want to get an API key, you can get a free one from AI Studio, you don't need to pay. And then from here, just click on Get API Key, and then you can just create an API key for free directly inside AI Studio. It doesn't cost you a penny. And then from there, you can start using your magic, right? So for example, if you go to the options, you can select the models, and inside here, we can select whichever model we want, right? So if we've put in our API key as Gemini, like you can see, then we can put in the details. We can add multiple different providers as well. So you can use DeepSeek, Anthropic, OpenAI, Grok, Ollama even. So you can use like a locally hosted API. But essentially, from here, you can then change the temperature. Temperature will change the creativity, and you can switch between who's a planner, who's a navigator, and who's the validator to check if tasks are completed successfully. So if we go inside the what can I help section here, and we'll say, right, okay, let's just test this out, see if it actually works. So I'm going to go over here. I'm just going to make sure I'm signed into Bolt. And we'll see if it can actually build an app for us directly inside the chat. So let's put inside here, inside the request section, go to bolt.new and build an SEO app. We'll hit send, and we'll see what happens next. So this is using Gemini 2.5 Pro, and you can see that the AI is now navigated to the other AI and is beginning to use it, right? So now it said input text to specify building an SEO app, and it's actually done it, right? So it said build an SEO app, and then submit the input text by pressing enter. It is extremely fast when it's doing this, and you can see it's interacting. You know, I'm not typing anything or anything like that. You can also stop the operator at any time if you click stop in the right hand side. And now it is creating the project, right? So it's now built out the blog. Again, this is the AI using my browser. I'm not controlling it. I've just literally given it a task, and it's gone off and completed it, right? We've got the full app built by the AI here. So we've got AI agents essentially talking to AI agents inside our browser, which is pretty wild if you ask me. And then you can see this actually deployed now as well. So it's on a local host. And it's actually getting the source code for SEO implementation. So it's like clicking through the code and that sort of thing. I'm going to stop it there, but that is pretty wild that it can just generate a blog, as you can see, and start using that. Lucky Leo says, how can I use Claude for free? Your videos are cool, thank you. So you just go to Claude AI, and then you can start using it. They have a free plan, right? And inside the free plan, you can start using this directly here. You can also get access to this inside po.com. So if you want to use it for free as well, you can use it inside po.com. That's another option. And you can get Claude Sonnet 4 and other Claude models directly inside Po as well. So that's basically how you can use it. So the browser has been completely controlled by Gemini 2.5 Pro. We've managed to automate our browser using this process. What we're going to do from here is you can now test it on the next test, right? So far it's passed test 1 out of 1. Let's now say, okay, ask ChatGPT and ask it what's the secret to happiness. So let's go back over here and we'll just use the chat. And then from here, it's now navigated to ChatGPT. Again, it's crazy fast. It's crazy fast. The other thing that I like as well about this is like, it doesn't require like any use of the terminal or, you know, messing around with API keys and setting up a .env file. It's just like literally, okay, you want to set this up? Boom, there you go. Now, it's actually failed to run that task. Let's see if it can use Claude instead. So I'm going to say open up Claude. Or, yeah, let's say open up Claude. and it's actually using Claude. So it's typed in, what's the secret to happiness? Type that question in. And now it's having a little philosophical conversation with Claude directly, right? So again, you can get your AI to talk to your AI. Pretty simple and easy right there. Okay, so next up, what we can say, and I'm just going to switch X accounts to a test one instead. So let's switch over to AI SEO Mastery, which is a totally different Twitter account I own. We're going to stop that, stop the validator, and then we're going to go inside here, take the prompt, and we'll say, go on X and post a terrifying, menacing, but funny tweet about the future of AI, right? So let's hit send like so. Lucky Leo is asking, can you run Claude on terminal? Yes, you can, but it's going to cost you money, right? You need to be on the, I think it's just the basic plan that you can use it for now. But yeah, if you want to use Claude locally, then you have to pay for Claude Code. So let's see if this works. There we go. I will soon write tweets so good, you'll wonder if you ever had an original thought. Resistance is futile. Also, it's learning to make toast. Be very afraid or hungry. So it's written the tweet. It's posting the tweet. And it just did that fully automatically for free using Gemini 2.5 Pro. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff right there. So we're going to go with another prompt like so. I kind of want to test and push it to, push it to the limits where you find out if it can break or not. But yeah, this is crazy. So I'm going to say now go to openart.ai, design a funny but scary picture about AI agents taking over the world. Let's see if it can do that. It says task failed, the extensions gallery cannot be scripted. Interesting. Let's try and open it up again. So it's now navigated to OpenArt. Let's see if it can create an image. And it's struggling to do that, to be fair. It is struggling to do that. Let's see if it can now work on this one instead. So it's good to show you this because then you know, okay, what are the limitations here? Is it magic or does it get stuck sometimes? So let's see if it can. So it's typed in a futuristic city, but then it deleted it. And it can't figure that out from what I can see. So it is struggling on some tasks. That one, it couldn't create images. Let's try one final one. So I'm going to say, okay, go to suno.com and create a funny song. So it's navigated there. Now it's put a silly song about a cat who thinks he's a dog. Or it's getting stuck on the captcha. I don't think it's gonna... Yeah, it looks like it really got stuck on that. It seems to have failed. It did create something on Suno. Let's have a look what it actually did create. So if we go back to Suno here, this is like an AI music creator. I think it actually did create that, but I'm not sure if that was just made now. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's an old one, to be fair. So I think it, basically from what I can see, it can do basic stuff like tweeting, it could probably do outreach for you, it could probably send emails for you and that sort of thing. But it does seem to struggle with creating images and also generating songs. It seems to like struggle with interacting with websites. It doesn't really know very well, if that makes sense. Let's try one more here. So we'll just go to a random test Gmail account. And I'm going to say, go to here and write an email to me@juliangoldie.com. Let's see if it can do that. Actually, what we'll do is we'll close this. Sometimes I think you just have to close it and then reopen it. Let's try that again. Yeah, so now it's starting to work again. Let's navigate to Gmail. Let's click on the compose button. It's filled in, so it's typing in my email address here. Seems to be working so far. I'm feeling optimistic. Now it's filled in the email body, so it wrote Nano Browser is very good. It's typed in the subject line as well. And it sent the message, my friends. Look at that, boom. Sent the message, no problemo, no big deal. It's just an AI sending emails inside a browser for free using a Chrome extension. That's pretty crazy, to be fair. So It only failed on a couple of tests. Everything else it seemed to do really well. If you want to see the notes on how to set it up, everything else, feel free to get that inside the AI Success Lab. Link in the comments description, completely free. And this community, it comes with 10,300 people, so you can meet a lot of people here using AI and learning about AI. Additionally, if you want to get help, coaching, and support from me, feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description. You can personally connect with me. Plus, it comes with all of my best trainings, tips, templates, and workflows. It's just a cool place to learn SEO and AI, and really, it's not about SEO. Sorry, it's about AI, and you can just learn lots of cool stuff and learn with me, etc. Right? You can also request any automations that you want, post it on this channel. We create a personalized video for you each week based on what you want to see. And additionally, inside the classroom here, it comes with all of our best AI automations. So, for example, like just this week, we update this every week, but if you have a look at the NA10 templates here, for example, you can see this VEO3 automation, you can see this HeyGen NA10 automation, like basically any sort of automation that you want to see with NA10, we've built it inside the classroom here, along with all of the best SOPs, templates, trainings, tutorials, and what's helped me scale as a business. So feel free to get that link in the comments description. It's all about making money and saving time with AI. And if you just want us to automate stuff for you, feel free to book in a free AI strategy session. We can look at your business, remove any bottlenecks, and figure out where you can save the most time so that you can get better results. All right. So feel free to get that link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. See you on the next one. Cheers. Bye bye.